Trump's America, land of the free, screams one headline. Green card backlog hits record high, shouts another. The screen flickers with images of families torn apart, children in cages, and protests erupting on the streets. This is the reality of the American dream for many in the Trump era, a nightmare of broken promises and shattered hopes. We are bombarded with images and sound bites, each one more disheartening than the last. But behind the statistics and the political rhetoric, there are real people, real lives hanging in the balance. The young man's story is not unique. He is just one of the many faces of legal immigration in America, caught in the crosshairs of a broken system. He came to this country with a dream, a belief that America was a land of opportunity, a beacon of hope for those seeking a better life. He embraced American values, worked tirelessly to build a future for himself and his family. The juxtaposition is stark, a visual representation of how far America has strayed from its founding principles. He followed the rules, obtained his green card, and became a contributing member of society. He is not a burden on the system, he is an asset. He pays his taxes, contributes to the economy, and enriches the cultural fabric of his community. The Trump administration's policies have created an environment of fear and uncertainty for immigrants, even those who have played by the rules. The green card, once a symbol of hope and a path to citizenship, now feels like a broken promise. How can a nation that prides itself on fairness and justice turn its back on those who have played by the rules? How can America, a nation built by immigrants, betray the very ideals upon which it was founded? The promise of America, once a beacon of hope to the world, has been dimmed. The values of compassion, fairness, and opportunity have been replaced with fear, exclusion, and division. Is it the pursuit of the American dream, regardless of where you were born? Or is it about closing ranks, building walls, and turning our backs on those who seek a better life? The young man's story is a stark reminder that America is at a crossroads. Will we uphold the values of compassion, fairness, and opportunity that have always defined this nation? Or will we succumb to fear and division, turning our backs on those who need us most? From a young age, even in his homeland, the young man, whom we'll call Alex, displayed an exceptional thirst for knowledge. His teachers recognized his sharp mind, his insatiable curiosity, and his unwavering dedication to his studies. It was no surprise that he excelled academically, consistently surpassing expectations and earning recognition for his achievements. When the opportunity arose to pursue higher education in the United States, at the esteemed Columbia University no less, Alex seized it with both hands. He knew this was a chance to learn from the best, to contribute to his field, and to embrace the challenges and rewards that came with studying at such a prestigious institution. His journey to Columbia was not merely about furthering his own prospects. It was about embracing the American ideal of striving for excellence, of pushing boundaries, and of contributing to the global pool of knowledge. Alex thrived in the intellectually stimulating environment of Columbia. He immersed himself in his studies, his professors impressed by his sharp intellect, his thought-provoking insights, and his genuine passion for learning. His contributions to the Columbia community went beyond academics. While excelling in the hallowed halls of Columbia, Alex remained grounded in the realities of everyday life. He understood the value of hard work, taking on part-time jobs to support himself, never once viewing any task as beneath him. He viewed these experiences as opportunities to connect with the broader community, to learn new skills, and to contribute to the society that had welcomed him. His commitment to giving back extended beyond his immediate surroundings. He volunteered at local soup kitchens, participated in community cleanup drives, and mentored underprivileged children, sharing his love for learning and encouraging them to pursue their dreams. Alex's commitment to his community was a reflection of his character, a testament to his belief in the interconnectedness of humanity. Amidst the academic rigor and the demands of community involvement, Alex found love. He met a young American woman, a fellow student at Columbia, and their connection was immediate and profound. They were drawn to each other's intelligence, their shared passion for knowledge, their quirky sense of humor, and their deep-seated belief in making the world a better place. Their relationship blossomed amidst the bustling backdrop of New York City. They spent countless hours exploring the city's hidden gems, from cozy cafes tucked away on cobblestone streets to world-renowned museums showcasing humanity's artistic achievements. Their love story culminated in a beautiful wedding ceremony, a celebration of their union witnessed by family and friends who had traveled from far and wide to share in their joy. Their happiness multiplied tenfold when they discovered they were expecting their first child. The news filled them with a joy so profound it was almost indescribable. They were going to be parents, entrusted with the incredible responsibility of nurturing a new life, of guiding a young mind, of sharing their love and values with the next generation. The thought of raising their child in America, a nation built on the promise of opportunity and equality, filled them with a sense of hope and excitement. They meticulously prepared for the arrival of their child, decorating the nursery with love, carefully selecting every book and toy, their hearts overflowing with an uncontainable love for this tiny human they had yet to meet. However, their joy was soon overshadowed by a growing sense of unease. The Trump administration's rhetoric, filled with divisive language and discriminatory policies, cast a long shadow over their future. The Trump administration's rise to power brought with it a seismic shift in American immigration policy. The changes were swift, sweeping, and often implemented with a disregard for the human cost. One of the most significant changes was the administration's attempt to dismantle the Deferred Action for Childhood Arrivals, or DACA program, which protected young immigrants brought to the United States illegally as children from deportation. These dreamers, as they were known, had grown up in America, attended American schools, and contributed to American society. Yet, the Trump administration sought to strip them of their protected status, throwing their lives into chaos and leaving them vulnerable to deportation to countries they barely remembered. The Trump administration's actions on immigration were often at odds with its own rhetoric. While claiming to prioritize the interests of American workers, the administration's policies often harmed the very industries that relied on immigrant labor. For example, the administration's crackdown on undocumented immigrants working in agriculture led to labor shortages, increased food prices, and financial losses for farmers. Similarly, the administration's restrictions on H-1B visas, intended for highly skilled workers, made it difficult for American companies to attract and retain top talent from around the world, hindering innovation and economic growth. The administration's focus on enforcement-only measures, coupled with its rhetoric demonizing immigrants, created a climate of fear and uncertainty, undermining the very fabric of American society. Green card holders like Alex found themselves caught in a web of uncertainty and fear. Despite their legal status, their lives were upended by the ever-changing immigration landscape. The Trump administration's policies created a backlog of applications, lengthened processing times, and increased scrutiny of even the most mundane details. The administration's public charge rule, which denied green cards to immigrants deemed likely to use public benefits, instilled fear and confusion among immigrant communities. Many families, fearing the loss of their hard-earned legal status, disenrolled from essential programs like food assistance and health insurance, even if they were legally entitled to them. The Trump administration's actions sent a clear message to green card holders: your status is conditional, your future uncertain. Beyond the human cost, the Trump administration's immigration policies had a significant economic impact. Studies consistently showed that immigrants, including those with green cards, were net contributors to the American economy. They started businesses, created jobs, paid taxes, and filled critical gaps in the labor market. The administration's restrictions on immigration made it difficult for businesses to find the workers they needed, stifled innovation, and slowed economic growth. The irony was palpable. An administration that claimed to prioritize American jobs and economic prosperity was actively undermining both. For Alex, the once clear path to American citizenship, paved with hard work, dedication, and the promise of a brighter future, now resembled a treacherous mountain pass shrouded in fog. The green card he clutched in his hand, once a symbol of hope and achievement, now felt like a flimsy shield against the unpredictable winds of political whims. The ever-shifting sands of immigration policy under the Trump administration had plunged his life into a state of constant anxiety. Every news notification brought a fresh wave of dread. Every policy announcement a potential threat to his dreams, his family, his very presence in the country he had strived so hard to call home. The emotional toll was immeasurable, a heavy weight pressing down on his shoulders, stealing his peace of mind and casting a shadow over even the most joyous moments. The American dream he had so firmly believed in, the dream he had worked tirelessly to achieve, now felt like a cruel illusion, a mirage shimmering on the horizon, always just out of reach. The uncertainty surrounding Alex's immigration status had a ripple effect, disrupting not only his own life but also the lives of those dearest to him. His wife, an American citizen by birth, found herself thrust into a position she could never have imagined, her future inextricably linked to the whims of an administration that seemed determined to undermine the very foundations of their life together. The joy of their impending parenthood was now tinged with a palpable fear, a gnawing anxiety that cast a shadow over what should have been a time of pure happiness and anticipation. The nursery they had lovingly prepared, adorned with whimsical decorations and filled with carefully chosen books and toys, stood as a poignant reminder of the uncertain future their child would be born into. Their story was not an isolated incident, but rather a microcosm of the anxieties and disruptions faced by countless mixed-status families across the nation. The anxieties faced by Alex and his family were emblematic of a larger societal unease, a growing sense of division and uncertainty under the Trump administration. The promise of America, a beacon of hope, seemed to be dimming, replaced by fear and exclusion. The Trump administration's rhetoric, laced with xenophobic undertones, fueled anti-immigrant sentiment, threatening American society. Values of diversity and inclusivity were being challenged, replaced by an exclusionary vision of national identity. The American dream, once a symbol of opportunity, now seemed out of reach for many, especially those on society's margins. Uncertainty surrounding immigration policy and divisive rhetoric created a climate of fear, eroding social cohesion. The impact of the Trump administration's immigration policies extended far beyond the individuals and families directly targeted. The chilling effect of these policies reverberated throughout communities, creating a climate of fear and self-censorship that undermined the very fabric of American society. Immigrants, even those with legal status, were hesitant to report crimes, fearing that any interaction with law enforcement could lead to deportation. Children of immigrants, fearful of their parents being taken away, experienced heightened levels of anxiety and stress, impacting their academic performance and overall well-being. The administration's actions had created a climate of fear and suspicion, undermining trust in law enforcement and eroding the social cohesion that was essential for a healthy and vibrant democracy. The Trump administration's assault on immigration not only targeted individuals and families, but also struck at the very heart of American values and institutions. The administration's actions represented a betrayal of the nation's long-standing commitment to welcoming immigrants and providing refuge to those fleeing persecution. The human cost of the Trump administration's immigration policies was immeasurable, measured in shattered dreams, broken families, and a pervasive sense of fear and uncertainty that permeated communities across the nation. The economic consequences were equally significant, as businesses struggled to fill critical labor shortages, innovation was stifled, and economic growth slowed. The administration's actions had tarnished America's reputation on the world stage, undermining its moral authority and diminishing its standing as a beacon of hope and freedom. The world was watching, and what it saw was a nation turning inward, consumed by fear and division, abandoning its core values in pursuit of a misguided and ultimately self-defeating agenda. Beyond the moral imperative, beyond the human stories that tug at our heartstrings, lies a simple truth often lost in the heated rhetoric surrounding immigration. Welcoming immigrants, particularly those who have played by the rules and earned their place in this country, is not just the right thing to do, it is the smart thing to do. America's economic engine has long been fueled by the ingenuity, hard work, and entrepreneurial spirit of immigrants. They start businesses at higher rates than native-born Americans, creating jobs and injecting vitality into communities across the nation. They contribute to the tax base, helping to fund essential services that benefit all Americans. They bring with them diverse skills and perspectives, fostering innovation and driving economic growth. To stifle immigration, to turn away those seeking to contribute to this nation's success, is to shoot ourselves in the foot, to limit our own potential for growth and prosperity. The evidence is clear. A stable, welcoming immigration system is not a drain on resources, but rather an investment in our collective future. It is time to move beyond the fear-mongering, the scapegoating, and the short-sighted policies that undermine our nation's economic well-being. America's story is intertwined with immigrants. From the first settlers seeking a better life to those arriving at Ellis Island with dreams, this nation has always been a beacon of opportunity. Immigrants built our railroads, skyscrapers, and cities. Their resilience forged our identity. To reject immigrants now is a betrayal of our history. We must reclaim our heritage as a nation of immigrants, a nation built on opportunity, equality, and justice for all. Even amidst the cacophony of fear-mongering and misinformation, amidst the political posturing and the divisive rhetoric, voices of reason have emerged, calling for a more humane, a more sensible approach to immigration. Business leaders have warned of the economic consequences of restricting immigration, highlighting the vital role that immigrants play in driving innovation, creating jobs, and fueling economic growth. Economists have pointed to the overwhelming evidence demonstrating the positive impact of immigration on the American economy, debunking the myth that immigrants are a drain on resources. Faith leaders, drawing upon the teachings of compassion and social justice that lie at the heart of their respective faiths, have condemned the Trump administration's policies as inhumane and immoral, calling for a return to America's long-standing commitment to welcoming the stranger and offering refuge to those fleeing persecution. Human rights advocates have documented the devastating human cost of the Trump administration's policies, sharing the heartbreaking stories of families torn apart, children traumatized, and dreams shattered. These voices, diverse in their backgrounds and areas of expertise, speak with a unified message: a more just, a more compassionate, a more sensible approach to immigration is not only possible, it is essential. America stands at a crossroads. The path we choose today will shape our future and the future of countless families seeking a better life. We can continue down a path of fear and division, leading to a diminished America, or choose a path embracing our heritage as a nation of immigrants, a nation built on opportunity, equality, and justice for all. The choice is ours. Let us choose compassion. Let us choose America. The story of Alex, the Columbia student, the soon-to-be father, is not just his story, it's a mirror held up to America, reflecting back the consequences of our choices, the human cost of our policies, the erosion of our values. We are a nation at a crossroads. What do we stand for? Do we cling to fear and distrust, or embrace diversity and openness? Our destinies are intertwined. We rise or fall together. The absurdity of targeting individuals like Alex, who contribute so much to our nation, is a stark reminder of how far we've strayed from common sense. We're caught in a web of bureaucratic nightmares, prioritizing enforcement over integration, fear over fairness, and ultimately, cruelty over common sense. Instead of harnessing the talents and contributions of individuals like Alex, we've created a system that instills fear, undermines stability, and deprives our nation of valuable human capital. We've allowed ourselves to be blinded by the false narrative that immigrants are a drain on our society, ignoring the mountains of evidence that demonstrate the opposite. It's time to inject some common sense back into the immigration debate. We need policies that recognize the economic and social benefits of immigration, policies that prioritize family unity, and policies that provide a clear and attainable path to citizenship for those who play by the rules and contribute to our nation. It's time to stop punishing aspiration, to stop criminalizing dreams, to stop using human beings as pawns in a political game. It's time to choose common sense over common cruelty, and to build an immigration system that reflects our values, our history, and our aspirations for a brighter future. America was built on a promise of opportunity, of freedom, of a chance to build a better life. That promise has always been a beacon, drawing generations of immigrants to our shores, inspiring them to work hard, to contribute, to weave their own stories into the rich tapestry of American life. Let us choose hope over fear, let us choose unity over division, let us choose America,